Call from a guy I worked for about 5 years ago. He asked me if I want my job back. No way. I mean, he was a real jerk. He's one of those people that always has to remind you how much experience he has. You know, this isn't my first rodeo. Yeah, no shit. You've been riding my ass since day one. You know? So how many of you are here because you're sick to death of winter? Yeah, same here. And of course, after every storm, I get a friendly little reminder from the city. Be sure to dig out your fire hydrant. Leave 3 feet of clearance around all sides. 3 feet? I mean, come on. 1.5 feet is plenty of room for any dog to do his business. So, I overheard somebody asking, you know, like, why are we getting all this snow? Is God mad at us? I mean, is he upset over a new movie coming out about the life of Jesus? Let me tell you, that's not it. The movie is really good. The writers tried really hard to make it as relevant to our modern times as possible. Like they tried to get Barack Obama to play Jesus. Hey, makes sense to me. I mean, every time the guy looks to his right, there's that angry Republican mob yelling, "Crucify him!" And when he looks to his left, the Democrats are acting like the apostles running for cover. I do not know this man! So they weren't able to get the president because he's busy, but they did manage to get Roger Goodell to play Pontius Pilate. So now I'm a runner, and this weather is really wrecking my training. I mean, you got the high snowbanks, the narrow streets, the icy patches. It's just too dangerous. Yeah, really. Yeah. Although, now, a month ago tomorrow, we had that big blizzard that dropped 3 feet on us. That day, I went outside and ran 5 miles. How many of you think that was a crazy thing for me to do? Yep. Yeah. Yep. Why does everybody think that? I was in Florida. I feel really bad for some of my friends who are training for the Boston Marathon because you've got to train for like 4 months straight in bitter cold, heavy snow, and then on race day the temperature is like 75, 80 degrees. Yeah. There's no way the body can adjust that fast. I mean, the situation causes so much stress that sports psychologists now have a name for it. Bipolar vortex. Now, I did the Boston Marathon last April. I wound up having to drop out in Newton from dehydration. And of course, there I am in Wellesley a few miles before that, and I see this young girl holding up a sign saying, "Boston strong, fuck yeah." Really? I mean, I'm showing my age here when I say this, but no way would I have ever tried a stunt like that. Because if I ever did, the cops would have picked me up, they would have taken me down the station, and then they would have handed me a fate worse than death. You baby boomers all know what I'm talking about, right? They would have called my parents and had them come and get me. Yeah. Only one thing bothered me more than seeing such a tasteless sign like that. My body yelling, "Fuck no!" And of course, this horrible winter was immediately preceded by this ugly, contentious election season. We had all these ballot questions. I think we're talking about gas tax this and gambling casinos that. So I'm wondering, do you guys remember a couple years ago when the voters approved medical marijuana? And then a week later, the maker of Twinkies went bankrupt? Look, I'm all in favor of sick people getting whatever help they need. But I really believe this whole marijuana thing has gotten way out of hand. Now, the last straw for me came on Halloween. A trick-or-treater came to my door dressed as a pot plant. I mean, call me old-fashioned, but there is no way I am giving candy to somebody wearing that costume. I did what any reasonable person would do in that situation. I gave him a giant bag of Doritos. Now, of course, I was reading in the paper somewhere that like 30 states now have legalized same-sex marriage. Now, that is huge for gay rights. But I got to tell you, the trouble with that issue is it brings some really crazy people out of the woodwork. I mean, one of the comments I read online is, what will they fight for next? The right to marry their dogs? You know, I wish the jackasses that need to say these things would do me a big favor. Could they please explain to my dog that we're not married? I mean, you should have seen the look on her face when I left the house. Hey, where are you going? Better not be another comedy show. You were going to take me for a walk. You were going to play with me. You don't love me. I mean, man, talk about a guilt trip. My wife's got nothing, you know. You know, a couple weeks after I added that joke to my set, I was going out for a walk. One of my neighbors had a poop bag dispenser and a sign underneath that said, Mike, please pick up after your wife. It's really been crazy. I'm driving over here. I tried to tune into oldies like I always do, and by mistake I wound up on a contemporary music station. The song playing was by Selena Gomez. I love you like a love song, baby, and I keep hitting repeat, beep, 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 beep. Really? Our kids think that's music? What has she got? She got this thing for the Roadrunner? Beep, 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 beep. Just glad it's not Elmer Fudd. I love you like a love song. Now, Selena Gomez had at least one other song out. When you're ready, come and get it. Nah, 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 nah. Now, you should catch that on YouTube. I mean, she looks so hot and sounds so seductive. I'm ready to come and get it. Well, at least till she gets to that part. When you're yeah, never mind, I'm too late, you know. And what is up with that rap singer Ludacris?
My chick bad, my chick hood, my chick do stuff that your chick wish she could.
My chick do stuff that your chick wish she could? That doesn't make sense. Where did he find a girl who can parallel park? Now, don't get me wrong, I do like some contemporary music, because some artists get really creative whenever they go looking for new material. Now, back in high school, I read A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom, it was the age of foolishness. Kind of reminds me of Katy Perry. You're hot and you're cold, you're yes and you're no, you're in and you're out, you're up and you're down. I think we can see the situation there. She went out looking for Dickens. What happens? She winds up with Dickhead. Yeah, he only cared about her tail and two titties. Now I gotta be fair. To be fair to today's youth, there was some music we used to listen to that had issues, like Simon and Garfunkel. Don't get me wrong, they were great singers. But the trouble with them was, with any one of their songs, you'd be straining to hear the first half, and then you get blasted out of your chair by the second. When you're weary, feeling small, when tears like a breeze. You know who I used to listen to when I was a teenager? Alice Cooper. God, you know, I was thinking about him the other day. I was home alone, so I got out one of his vinyl records. I threw it on my turntable. I cranked up my stereo full blast. Started acting like Tom Cruise. I'm dancing through the house in my tighty whities and everything, and then my son walks in on me. And he's just staring at me. And he says, Dad, seriously? What are you, 18? So I said, yeah, I'm 18, and I like it. I also like giving a lot of relief to people that are sick of this winter. And on that note, I'm going to give you back to your host. Thanks, everyone.